George Washington, the head coach at Pebblebrook High School, which is where Collin Sexton played, who is just seems to keep jumping up the ranks. Good morning, Coach. How you doing?
Morning, Coach. Good morning. I'm doing well. How you guys doing this morning?
Well, we're doing good. Hey, Coach, my dad always told me when I got into coaching, to get great players, they tend to make you a better coach. In college, at least you can go recruit them. In high school, you got to kind of hope they live in your area. But I think you got one there in Collin Sexton. Tell us a little bit about him and his growth this summer. It seems like he just keeps shooting up the charts.
Yes, sir. Well, your dad is absolutely correct. I run the same plays I ran 6 years ago, and I look like a genius right now. I'll tell you that. Colin is an extremely hard worker. At the end of last season, we lost in the state championship, and what we always try to do is have our guys to write down goals for the next year and what they want to accomplish. And Colin wrote some things down, and we told Colin, hey, in order to accomplish these things, you got to work more than everybody else. And a few things, he wanted to lead EYBL in scoring. He wanted to be a McDonald's All-American. He wanted to make USA basketball. And last thing he wrote down, he wanted to win a state championship and wanted to win a national championship. So we're on target right now for most of those things. And we just put a plan in place for him to get better every day. And he's a kid that's been in the gym in the morning and at night. So he's just getting better every day.
Well, tell us about him as a player. Is he a 1-2? I did get a chance to watch him play in Vegas when he played with CP3, the game that was on TV. He basically just took the game over. But what position do you see him moving into in college? Will he play both spots? Where do you see that?
He'll play both spots. He's a guy who can play on the ball, off the ball. We've been fortunate here at Pebblebrook to have some very, very good guards. We have a guard at Clemson and a guard at Auburn, and he's played point with them, and he's played off the ball with them. So he can play either position, and he's happy at either position. He's going to celebrate. If he gives you a great assist, he's going to be up dancing before everybody else. And he can score it, and he has a knack of drawing fouls. That's uncanny for a kid just to draw fouls the way he draws fouls.
We're speaking with George Washington, the head coach at Pebblebrook High School, which is where Collin Sexton plays. Go ahead, Dad, with the question.
Coach, I understand you've done a great job with it, so congratulations to you along with him. Is he a kid you think that would prefer to get it over with, signing-wise, or is he a kid who's going to kind of wait? I know he's got so many offers. Is he a kid that's probably going to wait through the basketball season to the end? Does he have ever give you any thoughts about that?
The plan is to get it done before we start our season.
Okay.
And they're really thinking about wrapping it up in mid-September and then end of September. The thing he's been talking about, he's been talking to some other guys at Alabama recruiting, and all those guys are talking, trying to see what they're going to do. And so he probably wants to get it done mid-September.
Okay.
Well, Coach, give us I know I heard an interview of a guy who's kind of followed him, and he kind of said, they said Colin maybe prior to the summer had 5 schools, and he said he was going to stick with those 5 who were there early, but then he kind of just blew up, to be honest with you. I think maybe some people had not seen him as much. How many schools are in it now, and does he have a top 5? How are you guys going to sit down and kind of weed through this thing, because it can get out of control with a kid like this, where you got to try to make some sense to it. Hey, let's what are you looking for? Hey, let's find 5 schools that fit this criteria and take business. How are you guys going to narrow this thing down?
We got a meeting scheduled the end of this week, and we're going to sit down and we're going to talk about what's going to benefit Colin the most. It's got to be a coaching staff that's going to allow Colin to be Colin. Colin can play on the ball, off the ball. Style of play is going to be really important. He's got to go somewhere they're going to play up-tempo. And then it's all about relationships. For him, it's going to be he needs a great relationship with the coaching staff and someone on that coaching staff. Coach Petway has done a superior job, and Coach Johnson has done an excellent job of developing a relationship with Colin and his family. They're very family-oriented, so narrowing it down is going to be, who they have the relationships with and style of play. That's going to be the primary thing, and an opportunity for him to play early.
Yeah, Obviously, I know, we know Coach Petway well, Coach Johnson. So what has been their style in recruiting, Colin? Have they had him here on campus on an unofficial visit, and does he plan on taking an official visit to Alabama?
He's been down there a few times on unofficial, and he does plan on taking an official visit to Alabama. We're trying to work out dates right now. That's what our meeting is going to be about, sitting down working out dates. And trying to get them on the schedule early as possible. But Coach Johnson and them have been relentless. Wherever Colin has played, somebody on their staff has been there, whether it's Petway, Coach Pelfrey, or Coach Johnson. Coach Johnson has been front and center here the last all of July. Wherever Colin has been, he's been. Even if Colin wasn't playing, he was there. So they have been relentless. And Coach Johnson does a good job of letting everybody know that, Colin is his guy, and they constantly reiterate that all the time.
What other schools are involved, if you don't mind mentioning, or do you guys know yet? Can you give us 3 or 4 other schools you think? I know they can take 5 visits. Most of the time, these guys don't get to 5. They get worn out.
They don't make it to 5.
No, so you don't want to be the 5th visit.
No, you don't want to be. No, you might not want to be the 3rd visit.
Yeah, Coach. So where else will he visit, do you think, Coach?
I know Florida's in the mix. Arizona's in the mix. Probably a little bit of NC State is in the mix. So, it's a good mixture of teams. But we're looking at style of play and relationships and stuff like that.
Well, I think it's going to be interesting. It's a situation where you have to sit down and go over the academics and everything with him. I'm sure you have. I'm sure you will.
Yes, sir.
But
yes, sir.
Go ahead.
We've sat down with the academic people at Alabama, and Mom was very impressed with what they had to offer and everything like that. Mom really likes it a lot.
Is Mom really involved in the recruiting?
Yes, Mom is really involved in the recruiting, and I think I know Coach Johnson talks to her quite frequently, and Coach Petway, that I think they make it a mission to call almost every day.
Yeah, well, one of the things my dad always told me, he said, now, son, if you're going to recruit, you got to find the key that's going to open the door. There's somebody around that kid that's going to help him make that decision, and I'm sure you're going to be a big part of it, but those guys better be recruiting Mama if they want to have any chance to get it, don't they, Coach?
Hey, Mom is going to be the decision maker. Everybody's going to give their input, but Mom's going to have final say so. And Dad and Mom and Colin, everybody knows that. So, we all understand our pecking order.
That's right. You guys are there just for support.
Support and, give good advice. We look at who's coming in to the schools, who's already on the roster. We try to advise them on stuff like that.
Well, I just want to thank him for being on our show. I know he's busy and trying to get ready for the season, and he's not that interested in anybody in the state of Georgia, is he?
No, sir. No. I would say no, sir. More than likely not. Okay.
Yeah, well, Coach, it sounds like you got a good plan there, and I'm happy that you do, because these things can take a life of their own if you don't. You've already had guys be recruited. But, the most important thing is to not waste these coaches' time and get it narrowed down and get it into a workable situation for the kid, the parent, because this stuff gets old fast, doesn't it?
Oh, my goodness. And the phone calls and, people call all time of night. They don't care. If they're on the West Coast, they're going to call you, and they don't mind calling. They're going to call all the time. So, sometimes they get, tiresome, and the kids just want to play basketball. They don't care about all the politics and all the political things. Colin is a kid, doesn't have a Twitter, doesn't have a Facebook, doesn't have an Instagram, rarely even uses his phone. So he's a throwback player. He just want to play basketball, and he loves school, so he's going to be really engaged in that. He's a different kid. He's a throwback player.
Now, Coach, did you go to Alabama? I heard a rumor that you went to Alabama. Is that true? I'm not trying to put anything out there. I'm just asking you where you went to school.
Yes, Coach. I graduated from Alabama. I catch a lot of flack from that. I talked to some friends of mine from Alabama last night, and they told me I cannot come across the state lines again if Colin is not in the car with me. So
yeah, well, and if he goes somewhere else, they'll probably give you a speeding ticket if you get in Alabama. No, I'm kidding you. Coach, you don't know how much we appreciate you being on. And as the kid, if it gets further on, we may try to have you on again or have Colin with you and have him on. But it sounds like you guys are doing it the right way. Kid, I love the things you say. The kid doesn't have a Twitter. He doesn't have a Facebook. He seems to be a serious kid. And, man, his game is taking off. You guys have done a great job with him.
Okay. Thank you so much, Coach. I appreciate you guys.
Good talk to you, Coach.
Thank you.
Thank you.